And we are good to go. So hi and welcome everybody for the SUSE QE Tools Workshop after a bit of summer break. Well, for me, it's the day is getting a bit less bright when I look outside the window and also a bit rainy. Let's see how the end of the summer will be in Europe. Today we had planned to celebrate some of our new open source projects. Some of them we also presented and shown in detail lately. For example, just the last meeting was about M2E. So let me start with that and show this project, and then we will look into other projects. What I would like to point out here that we in the SUSE QE Tools team is of course we care about free software and we like public open source code. And there were some hidden gems within SUSE that we would, for various reasons, maybe for good reasons, maybe for better reasons in the past, had been decided to develop first internally. For most of them, the idea was like, we don't know if it will be useful to anybody else, so let's just keep it low profile. And one of them is the maintenance test update installer, which is actually a project which is already pretty mature. So it had been around a lot, and it's a tool to used as on a daily basis by QA engineers validating SLE and OpenSUSE maintenance updates. And it's a text interface, console interface, and it was just created as a public open source project last month. So thanks to all who contributed and helped there. But also it was a plan by the SUSE QE Tools team here. The next one, which was also related to SLE maintenance tests and update validation and development, is the Osc Plugin Qam. That's an OSC plugin. OSC is the command line interface for the Open Build service. And here, what is done is a plugin so that additional commands are available. So for example, you can run that as an OC subcommand, and then you have an interactive shell, but there's also a possibility to call command on the command. So second recently open sourced public open source project, yay. Now the third one, or number 3 and number 4, is a pair that nicely goes together. That's Uem bot and the Uem Dashboard. Fourth link comes up. The Uem Dashboard. So the Uem bot is a tool for scheduling OpenGL related maintenance job, syncing data from Smelt, which is another internal database system to interface with automatically as well as manually as humans, as well as in automated fashion over various interfaces. And it's also connecting to the Uem Dashboard. Uem Dashboard, that's the next project. And you can already see that this one has a history that is going longer into the past, and it had been made public and open source some months ago already. So the dashboard, if you haven't seen it, looks like this. a rather simple interface with an API, and all the data that it shows here is fed to by QM in the background. So these are the 4 main source projects which we have published and developed lately. Any comments or questions around these? Should I go into more detail or not? Okay, one thing I want to point out, on GitHub there are different project scopes. There is OpenSUSE, and OpenSUSE has many projects with 554 repositories. So that's a scope for many different softwares that are developed as part of the OpenSUSE ecosystem, but not all of them. Among them, for example, is the Open Build service. So Open Build service is part of Open. But we also have our own scope, in particular for OpenQA development, under the shorthand OS Inst. And many of you know this scope, and you know the main projects, for example, OpenQA, OS Inst, and OS Inst Distri OpenSUSE, which is the main test distribution you guys on a day-by-day basis. It has 23 repositories, and you can see that among one of the most active is OS Inst Distri OpenSUSE, but also OS Inst and OpenQA itself is pretty active. The most recent projects within that scope are the scripts repository and the OS Inst wheel launcher, if I'm not mistaken. Check that I'm not. Yeah, maybe the QE Tools Backlog Assistant. So let me shortly mention that. So OS Inst scripts is, well, you can guess from the name, it's a bit miscellaneous collection of scripts, but there is things which are also used as part of productive OpenQA systems. And one of the most important recent addition to this project is, let me show you here, is what our GSOC student added. Let me see, I can find the yeah, the according pull request, and remove the not ready label because it is ready. It's actually already merged. So Ken Guetao or Arkemi provided an interesting script-based solution to find OpenQA test results and check their similarity. So this scans the auto-inst log file, same as other scripts do, and can also be integrated into OpenQA if you call that script on the results of an OpenQA instance. Then also there are OpenQA comments posted as a response. So the result of a successful GSOC project is also posted, obviously, as part of one of our public open source projects. Thanks to Arkemi for your contribution. The next project is the OS Inst wheel launcher. So OS Autoinst wheels are our implementation of plugins for OS Autoinst, where common test code snippets can be shared among multiple test distributions without needing to put them into OS Autoinst itself. So we call them wheels, and this one is a wheel about a launcher. So think about on your desktop environment when you press Alt F2 and you can type in a command that you want to open, then this is the plugin to look into reuse within test code. And it's already used within test distribution of OS Autoinst dist3 OpenQA successfully for some weeks. And we have this project for that purpose, also serving as a template for others to develop similar plugins. And then there's the QA Tools Backlog Assistant. That one is for us as the tools team. We have a backlog to plan our work, and we use this as an assistant to help and plan our work. And here you can see the always current backlog status parsed from progress tickers and based on the results from different queries based on it. There's one red bubble showing up here. That was the latest run, and I expect that in 2 or 3 minutes, when the next refresh cycle would be, that this will vanish, because I thought actually I thought I have updated the ticket already, or maybe I didn't manage to save that. Okay, right. So you might wonder, why do we have certain projects in OS Autoinst and added more projects now in the OpenSUSE scope? Well, the distinction here is that while OpenQA is one, if not the most important project for us, there are also other related projects or software projects which are related to the work of the SUSE QE people. And the Uem Dashboard certainly has a strong relevance for SLE maintenance tests relying on OpenQA, but it itself is not OpenQA, so this is why we have it in the scope of it. Same goes for Qam board, and even more so for Osc Plugin Qam, which I would say doesn't have any direct relation to OpenQA, and also for M2E, because if I'm not mistaken, then M2E was already existing before OpenQA existed. Okay, so that's it about the existing recently open source projects that we have created. Are there plans to have more open source projects? Maybe there might be 1 or 2 projects which we could look into making public and open source in the upcoming months. Okay, I'm done with what I wanted to show you. Thank you. Do you have any additions, comments, or questions, or suggestions maybe? Anybody still here?
Yep.
I can see you here. Okay, cool. Right. So yeah, then if there are no comments or no questions, then then we are done. Thank you. Actually, for the next week, we are a bit behind with planning ahead new topics. So we have enough time now. Do you have any suggestions or wishes what we should handle in the workshop of the next week?
Oliver, I have one.
Go ahead.
If I read how to report tickets,
Yes.
I wonder, does Redmine have a sort of template function that any squad that has its tickets can fill the text area, the description with a predefined template that fits to
Yeah.
their needs? How can we apply those templates or
Right.
create those templates?
As far as I'm aware, such feature does not exist. You know what I have in mind, for example, for GitHub, I know that feature that projects can define a template, and then if you create a new issue, it will pre-fill the content. That's what you
Yeah,
mean, right?
that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So I'm not aware that this is provided by Redmine. It might be provided by some kind of plugin. So if you or anybody finds something like this, then we could look into that. The best approach that I know so far is that, well, we have a wiki. Let me show you, for example, for the OpenGA wiki, we have just tickets templates. So, you know, one can copy paste that and put into a ticket. And of course, if people just create a new tickets, then they might not be aware of that template. So we help to adjust the ticket after. The second thing which I know of is built into OpenGA. So if you go from, I guess you know, right? You click
I
this,
know,
yeah, the ticket report button like here, and then this is all pre-filled. Where does that come from? Well, that basically just comes from the URL. So what we do is in OpenGA, we call the URL with certain query parameters. So yeah, I know what you mean, and I would also like that, but I'm not aware. About the topic how to report tickets. Let me take a look. When was the last time? Right. So in April, we had in March we had how to report tickets, investigate issues, etc. And in April we had a follow-up how to report tickets and find improvement. I think it's a good idea in this autumn, maybe not next week, but October, November, to also discuss this topic again as a refreshment, as a reminder, how to do it if something changed, and just sharing and exchanging that best practices. Other proposals for topics? Okay. If you come up with any, then feel welcome to let us know, and then we can do that. Until then, thank you, and see you again next time. Bye.